Hey everyone, Congressman Mike Waltz here, representing Florida's central and northeastern portions. Florida's 6th Congressional District essentially runs from the suburbs of Orlando up I-4, hits the northern boundary of Cape Canaveral, and then up 95 to St. Augustine. Really great to be with you. Sorry I can't be with you in person. I want to thank the American Security Project for all the great work that you're doing to raise awareness and present solutions for what our changing climate is doing and will do to our nation's security. You know, as a Green Beret, as a 25-year veteran of the Special Operations community, but also still serving in the National Guard, and particularly when we're talking about the Florida National Guard, we all know this is absolutely a critical topic. You know, from my own experience, I can't tell you how many times serving in Africa, across the Middle East, in Afghanistan, I found myself wondering why many of our remote outposts, and as a Green Beret, we specialize in working by, with, and through local peoples, indigenous peoples, in the most remote locales in the world. And yet we have these extended and exposed supply lines. How many times I saw our nation's amazing military members exposing themselves, often getting ambushed, IED, bringing fuel, bringing diesel fuel, bringing jet fuel to these outposts, and asking myself why we didn't have some panels up, why we didn't have some turbines up that could power these remote fobs in a way that at least reduced that exposure. So from an expeditionary standpoint, this is something that I've experienced and been interested in and focused on for some time. But also now, you know, now that I'm on the Armed Services Committee and also on the Space Committee, looking at the resiliency or lack thereof of our bases. You know, we've seen situations just in the last few years where literally we had bases, strategic bases, getting wiped out, as we saw in the Florida Panhandle, where we had some of our nation's most advanced ISR assets, our most advanced fighters getting taken offline or being displaced because of storms. You know, you can imagine a situation where sailors or our military members can't get on to get to their aircraft carriers in Mayport or get on to base, say at MacDill, and then, you know, near and dear to Central Florida, Cape Canaveral and Patrick Air Force Base. Listen, the next conflict, God forbid if we have to go to one, is going to be won or lost in space. And that means that launch capability is absolutely critical. And that means that our bases have to be resilient to rising sea levels, to flooding, and certainly to storms. So this is just, in my view, a non-negotiable topic. It's just how do we get there? And, you know, I'm really focused on, let me see, it's the Defense Department's Defense Community Infrastructure Fund, also obviously FEMA's Access Road funding, and then some other things that we need to be focused on in Congress. And particularly I'm on the Science, Space and Technology Committee looking at how do we insert more resilient materials into our infrastructure, and then with NIST, how we get, you know, standards in place that drives resiliency. Florida learned its lesson when it came to wind resiliency from Hurricane Andrew. We're now incorporating that when it comes to flooding, but from materials to processes to locations, all of those things have to come in play. And that's something that you can certainly come to me for and that I'll be advocating for from my position in Congress. All right, so I'm also here to introduce Vice Admiral Green. I won't regurgitate his amazing and extensive bio, but I think two things that are really, you know, really poignant to this conference is one, that he knows Florida well in commanding naval forces for Southcom, but then also serving as the deputy CNO for plans and policy. He sees the effect of resiliency on our naval assets and our naval in our naval forces and posture, not just in the United States, not just in Florida, but around the world. So again, look forward to perhaps in the future being with you in person and really hashing this out. But I did want to take a moment to send you this message, to introduce the Admiral. Look forward to seeing you in the future, and look forward to hearing what solutions and what creative approaches that come out of this conference that we can then incorporate into legislation. All right, God bless, and thank you so much.